Okay, problem 7.2, millimeters, grams, and seconds, medium. Um, Part's origin is at the center. Asymmetric, sketches are fully defined, lines, circles, center lines, extrude bosses, revolves, fillets, and chamfers, linear pattern, and reference geometry planes. All right, so the issue here is that we have 30 by 30 on our pattern, but we need to calculate that position. So we're not given an actual dimension. So let's go ahead and get into that. It looks centered, so there's some things that we can do with the pattern. That what do we have? 3, 6, 8, and 3, 6, 8. So that we can do with the pattern based on the isometric view. We're going to go into the top plane. So let's go sketch, top plane. We'll do a center rectangle, and this will be 246. Before I do that, let's go ahead, if we're going to put the chamfer in to the sketch, I don't know that that helps. I need to make that decision now, though. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it as a, I think I said chamfer, the radius 246 by 246, and we will extrude boss base, and it's at the bottom center, so we have a thickness of 5. So let's go ahead and put that in. Not typically in the habit of putting radiuses in first. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take a little more complicated on the sketch pattern. We're going to open up a sketch, and I'm going to put the point in. And they're talking about a linear pattern. I'm going to use a sketch pattern. So I think everybody should be able to calculate out the linear pattern, but there's going to be an advantage to running the sketch this way. So I need a linear pattern, 8 by 8, 30 millimeters between centers. And I want to dimension the X spacing, dimension the Y spacing. And instances to skip we can still use. So it looks like the 3 in the upper corner we can skip. Now the other advantage here is if I need to add those back in, I can come remove them from the instances to skip. When you do a linear pattern, we'd have to check that. Sometimes when we do the linear pattern, it creates more confusion than it's, well, okay, it confuses me anyway. Let's go with a center line and a center line. And what that's going to let me do is select, control select, and make symmetric. And then we can pick 2 more and the center line and make symmetric, and our sketch goes fully defined. Now, as far as where we're going to generate that plane, so this is my pattern layout or something. I do want to note that. So when I go to generate the plane, we're looking for, let's just say, the front plane. And when I drag that off, we're going to change the parameters from a distance to parallel, and then I'm going to put it through the seed point. All right, opening up a sketch then. We're now looking at, let's see, on this one I should be able to get away with the line. We're looking at attaching it to the sketch. and then over some distance. All right, this one's fairly, nope, I think let's go with the center point arc, so we can pull that out and then go that way. And I'll connect the points that way. And then the radius is 15 with a height of 4. All right, so we need some method to bring that center line in. So we'll go vertical or coincident in this case. So if I did 2 points, that would be vertical. All right, so let's see if I do the S key, I don't go automatically into the features. We'll just jump back and do a revolve boss base. And the axis of revolution, since there is no center line, we have to pick the vertical, and that generates my geometry. So at this point I can hide the plane, and we're going to take the revolve, and instead of a linear pattern, I'm going to do a sketch-driven pattern. So mostly just to make you aware that you have other options, and we put that geometry in. So let's go ahead and open up another sketch, and we can put in our notch geometry. And missed that one by a little bit, so we'll just drag that one. Usually connect it and make it horizontal. Doesn't really matter. So we want to be on the width. We'll make those equal. Set that to 18. Need a little more separation there. All right, so from the outside, they have a radius of 35 on the outer corner. I'm going to do a radius of 26, and then the inside radius is 16. And let's see our positioning then. If we're 35 and 26, those should share the same center, but because I've chose a different path, I'm going to have to do the math. All right, and then the overall from the center to the outside is 22. And we can take that one and make them equal. Yeah, it looks like it. Maybe a little closer that way. Yep, 22. Oh, it's 22 to the outer. Yeah, that would shift it a little bit. I'm going to try the grip. Nope, that just messed it up worse. Oh, it would help if I put the grip on the correct one. There we go. So differences from the from 30 to 22. Choice of the radius of 5. I'm going to go ahead and extrude cut and up to next. And then we can do the interiors. There's only 4 of those, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and select and fill it. And that was radius of 5. And we'll go ahead and accept. All right. And then on this one, we'll go fillet of 35. And when I select the other, then I can see the highlight, and we'll go ahead and accept and save it. All right, so at that point I can hide my pattern layout. We'll go ahead and save this as P7-2. And my volume then, 334,754. Evaluate mass properties, 332,764. Well, I got some of the numbers. All right, so let's just do a quick check. I mean, visually, everything looks like it's there. If I was to go to that one and do a measure, then we're going to see distance between circular centers is 0, and it gives us the total measurement. So there again, I feel pretty confident about all my geometry. 26, 16, 18. So that one, oh, that one did come up a little close. So my 30 by 30 pattern, yeah, 30 by 30 pattern, was there a shift somewhere? Either that or it's not a radius of 35. Because these, yeah, those do look a little close in the corners, but mine look a lot, mine are touching close in the corners. All right. Oh, and I forgot the chamfers. So we actually have a chamfer on the inside outside. Let me double check that I didn't mess something up on the overall. No, we'll just go through some basic diagnostics. So yeah, I'm still feeling pretty confident about my my geometry, but that that radius of 35, that doesn't look like 9 all of a sudden. So if I was making an assumption, which is always on the dangerous side, now that one's shifted over slightly. But 3 times radius of 18, 1 time of 35. All right, so I missed. All right, so those should be good. That should be good. Let's go ahead and just clear everything out. We'll go to the radius of the 35. So the moral of the story, read your, make sure to read the print. Okay, and by the time I select those, okay, that looks much better. And since I forgot the chamfer, we'll go upper, lower, and the chamfer is 1.5. Let's see if that got us a little bit closer to our number. All right, mass property 333,544. So still off a little bit somewhere, but I don't think there was any chamfers on the interior. I don't think there's anything, and actually that would just remove more materials. So I am curious if I suppress those and do a mass properties. Only went up, well, actually went over 335,665. So don't know where exactly the difference is, but we've been doing that all along. So we'll just save it and call this one pretty close.